Tuesday.
It's a sad Tuesday. A sad Tuesday. I'm sure a lot of people across the town do have a migraine today.
I know I do.
I do too.
I have a migraine today, but for what happened last night at M&T Bank Stadium, and once again, a fourth quarter meltdown comes to a loss. 1-2 on a year.
It does. But special guest today, the one and only Rob Long. Before we get to the bad stuff, let's talk about the good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
The TailGOAT.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see it from your point of view as the outsider walking into the place. Try to explain how yesterday went, and then I can give a little insight to behind the scenes and some hiccups that other people maybe didn't see, and just how great it ended up being.
I don't know about hiccups. Yesterday was one of those days I said, I'm going to get there from the very beginning. I got there at 4 o'clock. They opened it up at 4:15. I walked in, and everything was there already. You know me, I'm going to light my cigar. On my way in, I'm lighting my cigar. And just the people. TailGOAT is all about the fellowship.
Yep.
You see people that you probably sometimes hadn't seen since season, and you reunite yourself with people, and you also see friends that you see on a regular basis. It's talking. Very little football is talked on the TailGOAT. It's social stuff. It's doing shots. It's eating food. It's how's your family. TailGOAT is properly named TailGOAT and not Tailgate, not Jimmy's Seafood Tailgate. You know, TailGOAT means this is the best of the best. And I love doing it every year, man. You know me, I come out there. My son will be there for the day games. He doesn't do too well for the night games. We're just out there just having a good time. Baltimore Orioles representing themselves for years.
Saw you over there with Westy.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. I don't bother him and take pictures when I'm at work because it's work. But we weren't at work. I said, dude, we got to take a picture together. And I was surprised he gave me that smile because Westburg doesn't smile too much. But for years, our two teams didn't get along. Johnny, you know that better than anybody. And to have them together like that, coming out supporting the football team, to me, that's special to the people of Baltimore.
Well, I think the players have always gotten along.
Right. But the teams themselves.
Yes, the people in the office perhaps didn't see eye to eye on promotional issues. But, you know, they came out together yesterday, did a social media post, co-branded, which was really cool.
Eric DeCosta is smart. In the front office, they're smart. Now you have Mike Elias. Now you got a smart front office with the Orioles as well. So when you have collectively two smart organizations, they understand there's only two of us.
Yep.
Why be at odds?
Yep.
I said it to you off air, for the most part, we battle with 98 Rock. Mm-hmm. Justin's my friend. You know, we're not at odds with one another. We're just two guys doing their jobs trying to be number one. That doesn't make you enemies.
Yeah, and I would say it's even more unique with them because it's two different sports.
Right.
There's no basketball team here. There's no hockey team here. The list goes on and on. It's a two-team town. All of our greatest memories growing up in this town probably revolve around the Ravens or the Orioles, right?
Absolutely.
So to see them supporting each other in such a public fashion,
it's important.
It's a breath of fresh air, and it is awesome. And like
it's
you said,
important to the people.
Yeah, and you were all there yesterday. Yeah. Westy, Mountie, Grayson, Kyle Bradish, bunch of others. Really cool to see them there, hanging out with the fans.
And later on, the coaching staff came there. We saw Anthony Sanders there. We saw Robinson Chirinos there. So, you know, just good to see everybody there representing the Orioles for the Baltimore Ravens. It was great. And the TailGOAT was if you haven't been to the TailGOAT, it's a Baltimore tradition. It's like, do you come to Baltimore and not go to Fort McHenry? Do you come to Baltimore? There's certain places that when you come to Baltimore, you got to go. If you come to Baltimore and you're going to the football game, the TailGOAT is a landmark. It's a football landmark. And I tell you, it's one time. Just do it one time, and that won't be the last time you do it.
Yeah, and then yesterday, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree, it was the best one ever. Yeah. So many factors went into it. It was like a perfect storm. I was telling Finch before we got on here today, the weather was amazing.
It was amazing.
Two friends who are my personal favorite artists did it again for 90 minutes. And it doesn't matter what kind of music you're into. They might be considered EDM, but they play everything, right?
They play everything.
Playing Shout,
they play everything.
Sweet Caroline, rock music,
hip-hop,
new stuff, old stuff. they're extremely talented, and to keep the crowd engaged for 90 minutes, which to
It's
do
tough.
anything is tough. Yeah. And then, of course, we had Caleb Presley there with Glennie, which, I mean, to set it off, they're hilarious. They were hanging out with the crowd. Steve Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, the one and only.
Being there as well is great. Ray Rice.
Always, yeah.
Always been there. But can I ask you a question? I know you are the interviewer, but let me turn the tables on you for a second. You're a Baltimore guy. What inspired you to take tailgating to that level? That's a different level of tailgating.
It was organic. You know, we started, it was 24 of us, like I always talk about. We had the cheese bus at Memorial Stadium, keg of beer, couple cold cuts, went to the game, came back. Next thing you know, you had a boombox. The boombox becomes a DJ at some point over the course of history. The cold cuts become a grill and then that becomes a food truck, right? So it's organic. So it's always going to revolve around, like you mentioned, brotherhood, camaraderie, food, drinks, football, music, and you just keep taking it up a notch. But the most important thing to me is never losing the essence, right?
Okay.
And we were talking about it.
Yeah.
I got hundreds of texts. I know personal friends of mine that people know are friends of mine also got hundreds of texts, and they were all forwarded to me. And I will be reading them live on there next week. But we don't want to oversell it, right?
Right.
So everybody there yesterday didn't wait in line for food, didn't wait in line for drinks, didn't wait in line to use the restroom, but see the music. It was you're still getting the same feeling. If you get too big, and you're there and I'm there, and there's 3,000 people there, let's say, we could go the entire 3 hours without seeing each other. Is that a tailgate? No.
Right.
That's just a social event, right? Yeah.
Right.
So
let me ask you this. Having said that, has the evolution ended where we are right now with the tailgate? Is this the end of the evolution?
I think yesterday was the best of the best, right?
Okay, I'll do
I think
that.
if you go bigger than that, right, and you get like a bigger space or you sell more tickets, it's just not a tailgate anymore.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
And greed's one of the seven deadly sins, man. I think if you go beyond what yesterday was, it's a greed factor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, to keep it small business, family owned, the boys hanging out.
So the spirit of tailgating for you is more important than the money that you can make.
The money's never the driving factor.
Right.
Like we talked about, you know what I mean? Like
multiple times.
It's the old saying, right? You never lose women chasing money, but you'll always lose money chasing women.
Yep.
Yeah, money's never the driving factor in anything that we do. It's always about legacy and camaraderie.
Absolutely.
Going to the first Ravens game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was perfect yesterday. I got thousands and pictures and videos to go through that we'll be posting all week. Got to catch up on my texts, social mentions, but it was special.
It was.
It was special.
It was special.
And then
The
the
game.
game happened. Yeah, and then the game happened.
What's up with our defense, John?
Well, we got some graphics we could share. Finch, you got me over there with some of these defensive graphics.
Defense.
So we can get right into it. Yeah. The strength is supposed to be the secondary, right?
Yes.
That's where all the money is.
But here's the problem, though. The secondary is no good without the guys up front rattling the cages. And I just don't feel like we rattle cages enough up front. Our problem is our defense has done a great job over the years since Terrell Suggs has left in scheming up a pass rush. Well, sometimes when you scheme up a pass rush, you're taking away from the back end to do that or the linebackers. When is the last time we've had a guy that can come off the edge and just get the quarterback without a scheme?
Yep. I mean, so Mike McDonald was great at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The issue there, Rob, is it's kind of a fault of success. To get a guy like that, you got to be picking top 10, right?
Right.
The Ravens are always going to be, in my opinion, in that 18 to 32 range picking. So you're not going to get a guy like that. Now, with Mike Green this year, second-round pick, he did fall into our laps. I feel like he had a great first game. He over-pursued on a couple plays. And, me watching him as a fan, it feels like the coaches have told him to stay home, and he's not letting it rip as much.
Right.
Do you see that?
Right. Yes, I do. You don't see the quote-unquote balls of the wall approach that you saw in week one. And that goes back to me with people who say maybe, John Harbaugh doesn't like dogs.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that in terms of personality, but maybe once you get here, he kind of puts the chains on you a little bit and pull back the reins a little bit.
Yeah. So the Ravens are leading the league, I believe, in points allowed, if I'm not mistaken. I know the secondary has given up the most yards in the league. That's despite signing Jair Alexander,
Who hasn't played in the last, 2 weeks?
Marlon coming off an all-pro season, first-round draft capital used on the safety. Yeah, I mean, gosh.
The winless Giants and the one-win Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough to look at there. And, I mean, that's with 2 home games under your belt. And the Ravens traditionally have fed off the crowd, especially on defense, to get big stops when they needed to. And it feels like they just couldn't get off the field yesterday. And part of that, I feel, was there was a true number 1 receiver on the other side of the field.
Yes, it was.
St. Brown.
Ooh.
Every third or fourth down.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, unreal.
And flipping it over to the Ravens side, I feel like we just didn't have anybody stepping up yesterday when we needed that big catch. There was a third down catch by Bateman.
2 of them.
3rd and 7, I believe.
And then there's another third
Which was
and long
good to
catch
see
as
him get
well.
going right. First 2 weeks he was a little quiet,
Right.
but man, it feels like a lot of them were coverage sacks yesterday too. It felt like we knew that Detroit is built in the trenches. They're built inside out. They take on the identity of their coach, right? So we knew there was going to be a problem going in, especially with Matabike being out, which might be out for a while. But to see the coverage sacks, that was a little disheartening, especially after the way we were lighting the world on fire the first 2 games.
Here's what I saw last night, John. I saw Detroit guys with the knuckles in the dirt rushing Lamar Jackson, and they switched up on the linebackers that will rush him. The reason why Detroit was effective last night, and people may not want to hear this, is because they were getting to us with no more than 5 rushes, which means they were dropping back 6. We can't do that. So it's hard for us to get coverage sacks when we're having to bring 6 players in to rush the quarterback. Last night, you didn't see that with Detroit. You saw them bring in 4 or 5 guys, rush the quarterback, rattle the cage of Lamar Jackson, and that's why they were able to get coverage sacks, because they had enough people in the secondary to defend our receivers.
Finch, can you pull up that Lamar fumble again so we can break that one down? Because bit of a backbreaker here, too. That was actually right in front of me.
See, look how many rushing them.
Are you going for it here?
Can you roll that again one more time, Finch? Look at how many are rushing the quarterback. Look, they're dropping back in the coverage, and they still getting on them.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We can't generate that type of pass rush. They rush 4. Watch this. How many actually rush the quarterback? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it.
Well,
everybody else is dropping back.
Number 1 pick, Hutchinson on that line. So they have draft capital invested there. When's the last time the Ravens really spent draft capital on the D line?
They haven't.
Matabike, second-round
yeah.
pick. Migraine, if you consider him a D lineman now, second-round pick.
You're a pass rusher, yeah.
But
now to answer your question, no.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens
take
great pride. Yes, we'll get to that right now.
Yeah.
But the Ravens do take a lot of pride in developing their D linemen,
Yes.
right? So maybe time to switch up the philosophy a bit. Can you change it though after week 3? I mean, there's nobody on the street that's going to come in.
No.
Do you trade for a Dexter Lawrence?
If they could help, if you're on the street, you would not be on the street because you would be somewhere else helping them out. Can they make a trade? It's probably not a very popular statement to make.
Is it talent or is it scheme?
I think it's scheme. I honestly think it's scheme. I love Zach Orr, but keep in mind, Zach Orr, and Jeremy Cohn always picks with me about this. Zach Orr struggled last year. You brought in Dean Pease. You fixed it. Now, you can say, well, Dean Pease had nothing to do with that. Well, if he had nothing to do with that, then why you bring him in?
Yeah, same guys. Well, they did bench Marcus Williams, too, which kind of felt like a scapegoat situation.
Scapegoat all the way. This year, you're struggling again under the same scheme. I don't know. John Harbaugh likes to get his guys. We know that through the history of John Harbaugh coaching here in Baltimore, he hires his guys. Anthony Weaver was available to be the defensive coordinator, who I thought had a better qualification for the job.
Future head coach, I think.
Yes.
Anthony Weaver.
He had better qualification for the job. The problem is Anthony Weaver is Brian Billick's guy. Zach Orr is John Harbaugh's guy. John Harbaugh, I think sometimes is loyal to a fault. and I don't want to make this seem like me beating up on John Harbaugh because he's loyal to a fault. He brought his guy in, and it's not quite working out. Now, behind the scenes, what do you hear? You hear Anthony Weaver is a rattle the cage guy. Anthony Weaver got to tell you, nah, I don't want to run that. Why you let me run that? Where versus Zach Orr, who's happy to have the opportunity, may not rattle the cage as much. Sure. So maybe that's why you bring Harbaugh in. I mean, bring Orr in. I think a lot of it is scheme. I don't think you brought Chuck Pagano in just to be the secondary coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of Harbaugh guys, we do have Chuck Pagano sitting over there. Does he get more involved?
Has to.
I mean, we're 1-2. We were 1-2 last year, right? We lost our first 2 games last year. We lost 1-3 this year. It feels like the same script.
Right.
With the defense not holding up its end of the bargain. And people will say, well, you can still win the division, right? Cincinnati's missing their quarterback. The Steelers, I've watched all 3 of their games. I wouldn't call them fraudulent. You know, the Patriots are a well-coached team, and they got Drake May. So, but the point I'm making is winning the division is not enough anymore.
It's not.
Because you have proven.
Been there, done that.
3 times. You cannot go into Buffalo and win. So you are now, for all intents and purposes, 3 games behind Buffalo for that 1 seed.
He can't beat Kansas City there or here.
We'll find out. So they're favored Sunday. That's surprising to you?
No, not at all. Ravens are legit. Ravens have put up, 30-something points a game.
How will they
Kansas City can't score.
How will they get to Mahomes?
Kansas City can't score.
We'll see.
They can't score.
We'll see. I don't like that.
Should they win? Yes. Will they win? I can't guarantee that.
Short week?
Yeah, by a day. I think they beat Kansas City.
All right, I hope you're right.
I think they do.
I hope you're right.
Now, going back to this, if I'm a business owner and I hire a young person to run my business, you're a business owner. I hire a young person to run a certain facet of my business. Then I had this one guy out here who semi-retired, but he wants to come back and work. And that young person who I believe in is struggling. I'm going to have that older person, experienced person, to help groom that younger person. At some point, Chuck Pagano has got to get more involved. Chuck Pagano got a head coaching job with the Indianapolis Colts on the strength of what he did here as a defensive coordinator. If he's in the building and you don't get him more involved on what is a struggling, failing defense, then you are a fool. Say what you want to about John Harbaugh, like him or love him. He's no fool. John Harbaugh is a competitor. John Harbaugh wants to win. Listen to his press conferences after wins. Listen to his press conference after losses. John Harbaugh, if he doesn't love anything, he loves winning. You have Chuck Pagano in the building. John Menadakis, you've got to get Chuck Pagano more involved in helping Zach Orr out, because I'm not sure. If I'm Harbaugh, I'm not down on that Zach Orr hill.
And that's the thing. How much time is left on that leash? Not only for John as a coach, but there's a huge feeling of angst and pressure, not only in the fan base. Like, something's got to change around here, but now it's going to the players. And you saw Derrick Henry explode on the sidelines yesterday. I feel like he represented every fan in the stadium yesterday, because obviously he's disappointed himself, and we're disappointed we can't close out these games. Every time there's a high-leverage situation, we kind of feel like the other shoe's getting ready to drop.
You love Pat McAfee.
That's right.
Did you watch the show today?
Did not yet.
Okay.
I had to take my daughter to school, bro.
Bruce Arians was on the show today.
Okay.
The topic was John Harbaugh being a liability.
And
that was the topic.
What did
Bruce Arians said is a liability. Now, we've heard that in Baltimore for years, but we heard that from fans. When have we heard Super Bowl coaches say that? Bruce Arians took the Arizona Cardinals to the Super Bowl. That forever is on his resume. It's the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not willing to say Harbaugh is a liability, but I will say Harbaugh is liable. Harbaugh should be held accountable for what we're seeing right now. The loss yesterday, no, maybe not. The loss on week 1, when you get back, you can say, no, not really. The playoff loss to Buffalo, you can deny and say, no, not really. The loss in the playoffs to Tennessee, but when you start putting all those things together collectively, we've been through multiple coordinators on both sides of the ball, and we see the same issues. At what point do you hold John Harbaugh accountable for the results that we're seeing right now?
And another point that kind of goes hand in hand with that, will you ever see a more talented top-to-bottom roster in Baltimore than this year's team?
Philadelphia Eagles. That's the only team I'm willing to debate is as or more talented than the Baltimore Ravens in the National Football League.
And why aren't they blowing 16-point leads? Yep.
That's the only team. John, do you understand what you've been watching football all your life. The Ravens have scored over 30 or more points in each of the first 3 games. 40, 41, 30. When have we done that? Do you know?
How about the collection of wealth we have on the outside right now? Finch, can you pull up some of those catches yesterday? We got the Tez Walker, who's
oh my gosh,
4th or 5th option bomb, almost caught another touchdown.
John, where did Tez Walker
watch
go?
This.
Where'd he go?
Tar Heel. If you look at this,
yeah, that's a great catch.
I've never seen that kid drop a ball.
Great catch.
In college or in the pros.
Do you know Lamar Jackson's passer rating right now is over 140? Did you know that?
I do now.
For the season, it's
that's
around 141.
First catch ever that was not a touchdown in Baltimore. So maybe that's why we lost. And then, hey, Fitch, you got the Lamar to Hopkins catch, because I'm going to make a point next about Harbaugh's guys that Rob might not be aware of. So here's D-Hop making a beautiful catch. You saw the play before that, Tez. Do you know who had more snaps than both of them combined yesterday?
Ooh.
Tylan Wallace.
Why?
Harbaugh guy. Did you know that Justice Hill had more snaps than King Henry yesterday?
You're BSing me.
I wish I was.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Look at this. 111 points this season. Most through 3 games in history by a team with a losing record. So I think we're kind of diagnosing an issue here. I will say I don't think the team has an identity anymore. And people are starting to talk about that. When we had Rex Ryan, when we had Wink, we're going to hit your quarterback on defense. What is the defensive identity of the Ravens?
Can we back up for a second?
Sure.
Who had more snaps?
Tylan Wallace had more snaps than Tez, who just had 2 touchdowns last week. And Hall of Famer, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. That's a problem.
It's a problem.
I did not.
And we're not even going to get into that right guard situation.
Sorry for not knowing that.
We're not going to talk about that right guard situation.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you got 2 playmakers on the field. I'm not. Wallace is. I got nothing against Wallace. He's great, but
he shouldn't be playing over them.
Not over them.
No.
Maybe special teams.
What's your best lineup when Isaiah likely comes back? I say you 2, a combination of Hopkins, Bateman, Zay, and Tez, and then I have likely out there. And are you benching Andrews?
I'm not benching Andrews. I'm not benching him. But if Likely gets hot, Likely gets hot. Likely, let's be honest, I love Mark Andrews. This is nothing against him. But in my opinion, Likely is your second most talented offensive player behind Lamar. He's the second biggest freak on the offense behind Lamar Jackson.
The only thing that worries me a lot, actually, about Isaiah is, did not know this until last week. His foot injury, there's Mark Andrews right there. It was good to get those 2 guys right there, Bateman and Andrews. Nice to see them get going.
Yeah. That's a good throw. Great catch.
Yeah. No time again, though.
Yeah.
It was a pure timing pass. Look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys.
Go back. Can you go back for a second? How many did they rush? John, how many did they rush on this?
And there's still double coverage on Mark. So 5 guys.
4. It's 4 rushes. They rushed 4.
Yeah, we got 5. We got a linebacker right there hanging out for Lele.
It's just unreal. Where's the 5th?
He's wrapped up with the right guard.
Okay.
Double
I see 5.
coverage.
No, I see 5.
Yeah, double coverage.
It's unreal that that they're able to get that kind of pressure with 5 guys, and we can't.
What is the Ravens' defensive identity right now?
Give up a lot of points in the fourth quarter, but that's not the identity that you want. They're not great coverage, great coverage defense. They're not a great pass rushing defense. We talk about we lost Van Noy, and Van Noy is our best pass rusher. But my question is, how good is Van Noy at rushing the passer? Just because you're our best doesn't mean you are good enough.
Right.
I mean, and again, you know that from business. You may have a guy or a woman that's in your business that's the best at doing it, but when you sit back and evaluate it, you may ask, she may be the best or he may be the best that I have, but can that person take me to where I want to go? I think that's what Van Noy is. Van Noy is the best the Ravens have, and in the grand scheme of things, how good is he? And there's nothing from him. I think this is a season where if Migraine doesn't become that prolific pass rusher, you won't have a prolific pass rusher.
Unless you go out and trade for one.
Go out and trade for one.
They don't hit the market, these guys.
Not through trades like that.
Yeah. Speaking of the defense, Finch, can you pull up that 4th and 2, which determined the outcome of the game, unfortunately, coming out of a timeout? Really felt like they were lost here. Too much
Great
time.
throw, by the way.
Too much time.
Great throw.
Yeah. I mean, they made Jerry Goff look like Joe Montana yesterday.
Look, where's the pass rush?
Nothing.
No one.
Nothing. That's game.
When the rush came up the middle, run this one more time, he had already decided to throw the ball. Watch. Rush is there. He knows where he's going.
Yep.
Clean pocket.
That's game.
It's ball game.
Which is, it's rough, man, because did you go to the game yesterday?
No, I did not.
It was electrifying.
Get up at 4 a.m.
in there. Night games at the bank are special.
Yeah.
Place was rocking, and I was telling the guys by the fourth quarter, there were there was a good 5,000 Detroit fans in there, and they pretty much took over that stadium. It was embarrassing.
I heard it.
I've never seen anybody do that, with the exception of a couple Steelers games.
Right. I heard it. I mean, I went to my closet, walking right next to my bedroom. I had the game on there, and I couldn't hear the commentators. I went to hang something up, and I heard the crowd, and I ran back to my room because I thought the Ravens did something great. Mm-hmm. It was actually Detroit. It was the long touchdown run.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I thought we did something great because
on Monday night, that never used to happen.
Is John Harbaugh on borrowed time?
Gosh, I don't know the dynamics of his relationship with ownership. I don't know his dynamics of his relationship with the GM. It seems to be a great one. I believe I've heard you say this before. You never fire somebody that gets hired the next day. So if he gets fired today, let's say, by the Ravens, let's say they blow another lead to KC this week and the Ravens fire him Monday, he probably gets picked up Tuesday, right?
Right.
But is that still a determining factor? I feel like when you have so much talent.
Yeah. At this point, probably not. At this point, I'd ask myself this question if I'm Steve Bisciotti. Who's the most valuable person in my organization? Is it Eric DeCosta or is it John Harbaugh? It's Eric DeCosta.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because Eric DeCosta gets the ingredients. Just because the meal didn't turn out right, that's not on Eric DeCosta. If I'm the owner, this year is critical for the future of John Harbaugh. Enough's enough.
Is it a Super Bowl or bust year? I think it is.
He didn't want to talk about it before the season started, and I think the reason why he didn't want to talk about it before the season started because he knew it was. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to talk about that. Of course you don't, because you don't want to make it a reality. Reality is, it should be. John Harbaugh should be screaming to the top of the roof, this is Super Bowl or bust. You've been the best team in the National Football League the last 2 years. And if you go back to 2019, since 2019, 3 times, you've been the best team. How many playoff wins you have total for that? 2? Come on, bro.
Not even a single Super Bowl appearance.
2 playoff wins from those 3 years. Like,
yeah.
Something's got to give. I'm not a John Harbaugh fan, but I'm not a John Harbaugh hater. I think he's a great leader of men. I just don't know whether he's the guy that can get this team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, man. Yeah. The schedule does ease up a bit after KC, so you'll get a few more of this cocky press game.
This is Baltimore.
After the wins.
Baltimore football fans aren't stupid.
Yeah, you're right. And my biggest thing
They're not
here
stupid.
is, me being so heavily dependent on football and the Ravens winning to enhance our business, they're not stupid. And there is a angst until December or January rolls around. This is fun, but we know when the chips are down.
Right.
Based off what we've seen the last few years, we're probably going to choke. So it's hard for me as a fan to get invested again.
Last week on the Big Bad Morning Show, Baltimore Ravens destroyed the and many fans were saying, yeah, it's the Browns. It's different from the Lions. And if you're an outsider or you're a person that has not invested in football, you think they're ungrateful fans. No, they're not ungrateful fans. They're smart fans. They know what they're watching. And that's the one thing that I've learned doing sports talk radio in this city. What I used to think was being negative is being just analytical based on what you know. And when you start hearing these fans last week saying, yeah, I know what they did. I watched it. But that's not the team they're going to face next week. Fast forward the next week, fans were right.
Yep.
You can't make some of the mistakes against the Lions that you made against the Browns.
And a big part of that was how they started and how Cleveland's D-line was manhandling our O-line.
Yeah.
And looking ahead to Hutchinson, looking ahead to this week Chris Jones, right?
Yeah.
And knowing you're going to have issues.
You're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Looking ahead, speaking of which, we do have a big TailGOAT next Sunday.
You're going to Kansas City.
This Sunday.
Oh, this Sunday.
Yes.
Next Sunday.
But
That's
next
right.
Sunday we talked about yesterday.
Is that the Ja Rule?
Ja Rule.
I'm in the house.
Ja Rule and Finch and the boys are going to be performing as well.
I'm in the house.
It's going to be insane.
Hey, man, time out, folks. You got Ja Rule. Whether you like Ja Rule is irrelevant. Whether you think 50 Cent destroyed Ja Rule is irrelevant. It's Ja Rule. When did you think in Baltimore that we would have a tailgate with Ja Rule as the performer?
Crazy, man.
That's crazy, man.
Weather should be good again. Hopefully coming off a win against KC. Me and you will be there smoking cigars.
Oh, you know I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I want to see
And
this.
hopefully, they'll be 3-2 after that, and we'll take it one game at a time. And
I think they beat Kansas City.
I hope you're right, man.
I do. I think they beat Kansas City.
Seems to be a house of horrors there.
I think they go and take care of Kansas City. I think the Ravens, folks, for the first 8 games of the year, are going to be around a 500 football team, 4-4, 5-3. I think that second half of the season is when they hit stride. And, John, that might be the best thing for them because in seasons in which they just rolled and ran the table, they cruise into the playoffs. They need a season where they have to fight.
Okay.
And I'm hoping this year will be the
my
season.
issue is if they get that 2 seed or that 3 seed and they have to go to Buffalo again, they've proven they can't win there. And especially when you factor in the weather up there in January. So it feels like there's a cap on the season.
Right.
So,
Lamar's like me. He don't like cold weather.
most of us.
Yeah, I don't like cold weather. I don't play well in cold weather.
All right, man. We're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for coming out.
It was a pleasure, man.
Thank you,
My
my
pleasure.
brother. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Let's wrap it up, boys.